Dimp Digital Presents Idle Game Chat.
Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital and welcome to Idle Game Chat. This is your weekly video games podcast where we give our impressions of the video games that you can play today and react to the latest news from the wonderful world of video games. We are here every single Monday on your favourite podcast and YouTube, absolutely fan-daddy free. I'm joined by the former... No, he's not a former anything, are you? Actually, the reigning Dimp Digital Gaming Quiz champion. You've not won anything else, have you?
Not yet.
So not yet. Not yet. There we go.
Confidence.
Yeah, he's the reigning quiz champion. As you can hear, it's Tom Adkins, Night Cock. How's it going?
Not too great. No, I'm all right. I'm just hanging.
Lockdown looms.
Hanging. Lockdown looms. Had a heavy weekend.
Yeah.
Drinking with the boys.
It will get on top of you, unfortunately. When we were just talking about drinking, you've had a big binge session on Friday. And I was saying that 4 out of the 7 days, I'm just sort of having a handful of beers, which can't be good. Yeah, it slowly builds up, so I need to start cutting. Maybe in October I'll start cutting back. Final quarter.
October.
Big push. Oh Christ! Not if there's any sort of restrictions in place. If anything, drink more.
Yeah, I could do more. Yes, it's true.
To get through it, but
have to.
We'll see what Boris has got in store, and have to obey by his rules. This week's show, we've got, I guess, the fallout. We could call it.
Sure, it's back.
From the PlayStation 5 showcase, which was Wednesday night, wasn't it? Wednesday night, they treated us to that.
Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yes, you're right. Sorry.
So we've got the release date to discuss. We've got the price. We've got short notice pre-orders. We have a Sony have lied to us. We've got a look at the launch lineup, and there's some new games that came out of that to discuss as well. So it's quite a packed show. So we will, with haste, get on with it. But before I go any further, patreon.com/idlegamechat is the place that you can go to if you wish to support the show with some of your hard-earned money. A lot of people aren't paying out for the commute these days, so there's lots of people with extra cash, so this is kind of aimed directly at you guys. And obviously there's lots of people that have lost their jobs, so they're in the shit. I don't expect any money off them, but for those of you who are saving money from the commute, time you send some our way, I think, and I can drink 5 times a week instead of 4, and everyone's happy. Maybe we'll have the weekend off. Maybe that's how I'll do it. Every weeknight, and I'll have the weekend off.
Yeah,
we'll deal with it that way. Okay, so Wednesday, Adkins, we've decided. That's what we've agreed. It was Wednesday, definitely.
Wednesday.
We had a 45-minute showcase that eventually... Yeah. They said it was going to be 40 minutes, and then it
got to 40, and there was no release date, and we were like, right.
No, they eventually revealed the release date and prices. But there was outside of that, I think everyone got the idea on the release date and price. It's quite straightforward, but there was like
fucked over we are.
Yeah, I know. It's not ideal, is it? We will get to the dates and the times at which we're actually going to get this thing. But after the showcase ended, there was all sorts of confusion and speculation and Twitter checking and refreshing because there was I thought, not some great communication. Now, we got, a couple of weeks ago, Phil Spencer, all his shit gets leaked on Twitter. He's having a nice croissant in the morning and his phone buzzes off and he checks it and they go, Xbox price is out, you're fucked. And he was like, oh, for fuck's sake. He takes it on the chin, calmly, concisely confirms the details that are true, gives clear information in regards to pre-orders, pricing, etc. Kind of what you would want from that. It's like, okay, yes, the cat's out the bag, here's what it is, blah, 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 on this date, go mad, you can have what you want. And I thought, to be honest, considering he was having his croissant in the morning and it suddenly happened, that was quite an impressive way to handle it, the team. They sort of scrambled, got a clear message out, and then people knew where they stood. And then we get Jim Ryan rock up for Sony, fag hanging out his mouth, I reckon. He's like, right, Yeah, all their is that right? All their shit's been leaked. Now we've got to have a little response here. I'm going to plan a nice little showcase for you all, and I'm going to promote the fuck out of it, and that will end any confusion. We'll have it all out there, and we're laughing. But to be honest, at the end of the fucking showcase, I had a lot of unanswered questions, and even today there are some finer aspects of PS5 and backwards compatibility I don't quite still know yet, because the messaging up until this point hasn't really been as clear as what Phil's been saying. So what have these cunts been doing?
I think they've had two. I think they've been so focused on what this price is, they're just waiting for Xbox to go.
Yeah.
And they've had that change up, because there are people that have picked apart that conference, and they're like showing that you could just slot the little bit at the end. You know, like once they revealed the price and the date, then there's like a little clip from old Jim. But he didn't say anything regarding the price or anything. He just sort of, it was just a generic message that they could have been on any other thing. So I think that it sounds like they've just waited for Xbox to reveal, and they've gone, right, pop that other video in there, and we'll edit it in. And they've gone, oh, we forgot everything else we were supposed to put in. The pre-order, the date, the fucking where, the place, the time.
Yeah.
It don't matter, just put it out.
Do you wonder or think that they saw that Xbox had said, look, we're going live with pre-orders 22nd of September. Sony had, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks to kind of respond to this. Do you reckon they was like, right, we want to get our reveal out and the pre-orders up before the 22nd so we can capitalise on that sort of like, right, I want to get a next-gen console. What's the first one that's available? Okay, I'm going to go for PlayStation 5 if it's available. And then, you know, if I get one, great, that's it. Do you have any theories as to whether that was the case?
I reckon so, yeah. I think because they knew that it was going to be the 22nd, they did want to get it out. But even if they would have said tomorrow, just put from tomorrow, but they never even put that. There's nothing. Just
literally went off the air and was all like, okay, where do I buy this? I know how much it is and when it's coming out. Where do I buy this motherfucker? And definitely the most noise that I've seen from people has been the way the pre-orders were handled, because, as I mentioned, the showcase goes black and you get that sort of looped Sony music and logo, and we're sort of sitting there thumb up arse thinking, right, where am I ordering one of these? And then I think... Go on.
That was Keighley. Jeff Keighley was the only one.
Mate.
Going, right, where's these questions?
Yeah, it was crazy. The thing was, it finished, and I thought of that conversation that we'd mentioned before about, I think it was the marketing head, his name's Eric Lempel, and he sat there in July and said, look, he was with Keighley, funny enough, he said, look, not to worry, we're going to give you plenty of notice about when pre-orders go live. Don't go queuing up outside now. Like you'll get the notice. And the showcase ends, we get nothing. And I think, okay, it's going to be a little whiles away. Then maybe it's going to be next week. Maybe it's going to be on the same day. Who knows? It's going to be a real clash. And then you scroll through Twitter and refresh it, and Keighley's sort of talking the potential that pre-orders might go live tomorrow. Anyway, long story short, for us, in our realm, in our timeline, in our time zone, I think pre-orders went live at Game, who are like the big gaming UK retail store, and they went live, shortly after 11?
Yeah.
So at some point, a message just goes out on their Twitter saying, oh, they're up today, or you can go to your store tomorrow, and from 8 a.m. or whatever time the store opens. And it was just a big mess for people. Like
you were saying yesterday, if you'd have got to bed straight after that conference and then woke up at about 11 the next day, you'd have been absolutely fucked.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, we did manage to get ours, just to confirm. Like, you ordered one on Game. I ordered one on Game's site, like shortly after I'd found out, and you'd sort of sent it in the WhatsApp group, ordered a disc version. And then the following day I went into Southend and ordered one in the store, but I went for a digital version and got a set of cans of it. So I'm probably going to bin the disc one. That's a conversation we can have for another day, but that's kind of what I've got, and I guess I'll have to cancel my current order on the disc one. Although some fucking cunts on eBay, I saw them selling them for 700 quid. I was like, Christ.
Yeah, I saw that. People have been selling pre-orders.
Yeah.
Cool, make a profit. Might as well tout it.
But yeah, there was opportunity, quite an opportunity there for people to miss it. And I know some retailers like Argos didn't do it till Friday. Curry's didn't do it till Saturday. So they tried to help out in some cases, but I do feel sorry for those that couldn't get one because there was just no notice for people. Like Xbox gave 10 days notice, a week's notice minimum, and we'll see how that plays out because it's a couple of days away as we record this. But at least people have had time if they wanted to, like to make arrangements if they want to go to the store to go and get it. Like it's people that would have been probably looking to do that in the store because maybe they don't shop online, and I don't know, so they've got a kid they've got, and I was like, oh, I can't go tomorrow because I'm at work for one thing. Like Biff nearly missed it. Biff was working that morning. He had to wait until he had a break to walk down to the shop, and he probably got one of the last 5 that were going in that store. And like, if there was just a little bit of notice, like even a couple of days, people can make adjustments and just for that moment to go and get it done. So what say you, Adkins? Should Eric Lempel, marketing head, should he be towed through Southend High Street naked for his sins against the PlayStation community, for misleading people about the amount of notice that would get for pre-orders? Or should...
What did they do in Game of Thrones to Cersei? Shame.
Shame, yeah. So should he be shamed like Cersei, or is this a storm in a teacup and another example of gamers being a pack of entitled cunts?
No, I think he should be shamed. They've come out and apologised.
They have, yes. That's
on official Twitter, but it's pathetic. Like I suppose there's still a second wave to come yet.
Well, don't say second wave. You get people nervous about COVID.
That's true.
Anyone thinks
a second batch.
Second batch.
That's apparently going to be able to get on there, but it's ridiculous if you're not clued up on it. Like some of the websites that I even went on to before all of this, you register your interest. I was getting emails saying, "Yep, they're now live," and the second you clicked on it, it was all sold out.
I got an email at 2:30. I got an email at 2:30 from Game saying it's up. Obviously, I knew, but I checked in the morning. I was like, "That's no fucking good. They're gone." So I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened there because there was lots of register your interest, and the idea is that like Xbox had, you get a day and date, and they send the email saying on this day we're going to be opening for pre-orders. But this was just like a free for all almost. And
it's absolute.
Well,
and it's even the big wigs. Like you'd think, like people like Angry Joe and that, you think, oh, they'll be getting one anyway, but they're all not. None of them are. Yeah. They're all just sitting there trying to get fucking pre-orders in, and none of them are getting them. So they could be like fucking. I mean, but it's just the whole thing's a shambles. It's a shame because the conference as a whole was brilliant, which we'll discuss. But you just, like you say, you're just left with this sour taste in your mouth because they just dealt with it so poorly, and it was just it was so easy to deal with. Just put a date there and a time of when it's going to be.
Just put Friday. It didn't have to be Thursday. It didn't have to be fucking 6 hours after the conference ended. We'll just say it's not going to happen tomorrow, Thursday, but Friday. There you go. And then people at least get some time. Idiots. Well, another sour taste that was left in people's mouths was potentially misleading information from Jim Ryan earlier in the summer, because we made a big thing on a previous podcast, not the last one, but one of the other ones, where we was just talking about these two systems. Well, I suppose it's 4 systems technically, but whatever. And the different approaches that Sony and Microsoft seem to be making in regards to the consoles. We had our, I think it's safe to say that Phil's a friend of the show now, like Phil Spencer. Yeah. We had him saying that, for a couple of years, there's going to be first-party games on both Xbox One and Xbox Series X or S. Kind of like, and we was all a bit like, well, that's a bit shit, but whatever, if you want to play it that way. And then we get who's now the new enemy of the state, Jim Ryan. He comes out saying, we believe in game generations. The PS5 audience wants something to play something new. You will get your exclusives, and they'll only be playable on PS5. And what is revealed after the showcase, again, not in it, it was just sort of something that happened afterwards through fuck knows what, is that I guess 2 kind of headline PlayStation exclusives that have been showcased throughout the summer, Miles Morales and Horizon Forbidden West, they are both coming to PS4. Now, I think from a business perspective, it makes total sense. What is there, 100 and plus million PS4s out there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've only got enough supply to meet the demand as it is for the PS5s, which are going to be a handful of million.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But again, not dissimilar to our marketing, mate. Given what we'd previously had been communicated to us, I must admit I found this dampened my hype a little bit. I thought it was going to be like getting loads of like PS5 only exclusives to really sort of reinforce that as a good purchase and a good thing to do. But it turns out 2 of the headliners are going to be on PS4 anyway. What's going on here?
I don't know what he's been on the old blow, I think. I really don't know why he's gone, right, we're going to make a big statement, say that we're the biggest, best, and come over to us.
Yeah.
And then they haven't even come out. They've just chucked it out and gone, yeah, you can all play.
Like little worms.
I wonder if it's
Slags.
because it feels like a bit of a slap that everyone thought that this PlayStation 5 was going to be backwards compatible with everything. It was going to be all the way. And then it was leaked that, no, it's not. It doesn't play PS3 games. Right.
Yeah.
Does it play PS4 games? Well, only a selected few. So,
well, they've come out and said they reckon 99% will work.
Yeah.
They're covering themselves that 1%, but
yeah.
But nothing further back than that. No PS3, no PS2, no PS1. So I don't know what I'd go back and play, but you know what? Anything past that, I'd say just remake it. Remake the Metal Gear franchise. Done. I'll take that at this stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh God, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Jim has been on the blow.
Yeah, it does. It just seems so that it's just they've gone back on everything they've said, and they're the ones that have not told us. They haven't come out and made a statement of to why they sort of said, look, I know this wasn't what we said, but here's the reason. Like, even if they'd have done a statement and said, yeah, this is the reason why we feel like we don't want to shut off that audience. Yeah. Obviously, our vision's changed because of the current predicament.
Well, the thing I'd say about that is I did read someone saying, oh, maybe it's due to COVID, and I thought, yeah, to be honest, a lot of this stuff like could be related to that. This thing I don't think can be, because it's got to be more work to be porting that down to the PS4 and the PS5. Yeah. If you're struggling for resource or remote working or whatever, cut one of them. You've got to cut the PS4 one. You don't be adding it to the back burner, surely.
No, imagine that. There's no PS5 games coming out. We're keeping the PS4 going.
Yeah. Okay, to be honest,
the service.
To be honest, had Jim Ryan never said anything, it wouldn't even be a talking point. It just wouldn't, because we've still got things like Demon's Souls, which is going to be PS5 only.
That's it, yeah.
And a couple of others and whatnot. But the expectation is that there's a crossover, isn't there, in generations, that games are cross-gen, and it takes, like Phil originally said, a couple of years before you start seeing the exclusive only stuff. So had Jim just kept his fucking mouth shut, we wouldn't even got excited over it. We'd just been like, yeah, it's fine. But I was getting like a bit too excited about that, thinking this is going to be great. And they came along and crapped all over that. Next controversy. Yeah. If I come to you in the year 2019, Adkins, and I say, look, I've got this fucking video game for you. Yeah, do you want to buy it off me?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll go. Okay, 70 UK pounds, please. What would you say to me?
Now I'll go. Jesus. Even Boris ain't done that much inflation this year.
So that's one of the other headlines, is that there are several games coming out. I think Demon's Souls is like the easy one to pick on, because that's like the first party one.
So it seems to be the first party ones that are very largely increased.
Yeah, and just for reference, like 70 UK pounds, $69.99. I bought Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2 earlier this year on digital, which is like they never at launch are below RRP. That's the advantage of going physical, is that although the retailer's recommended price is $54.99, the physical guys drop it usually by at least a $5, sometimes a $10, sometimes $15. So you can pick games up in the UK from around £40 up usually, and like you won't normally pay more than $50 generally if you're picking up physical. So previously it was $54.99 for these first party exclusives, and now 70 UK pounds for Demon's Souls. Now, I expect like it's happened this time round and last gen, that physically you'll be able to get Demon's Souls a little bit cheaper. I don't know how much. 65 maybe, 60 would probably be stretching it. But what do you make of all this then? Because there was fuss made that there was 2K putting up their prices by a fiver over here in the UK, and a few other bods, sort of the big boys, trying to ramp it up. But this is more than I've seen any other game sort of go for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people were saying that, we haven't had this much of an increase. Games haven't really increased that much since like the PS3 days, maybe. But still, it's a big fucking leap.
Yeah.
Like, even that Miles Morales, I think that's 52, and it's like it's going to be like a fucking glorified DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks a bollocks, but when you're paying full whack for that, and then you go, right, the only other game, the real true next-gen experience is either fucking Demon's Souls or Sackboy's Adventure.
That's on PS4 as well. That calls up raw.
$70 or UK pounds.
Yeah, it's not. If it's $70, usually it's 60 quid over here. They've fucking done us over.
So yeah, I mean, everything's fucking gone up this year, but that is a piss take. And I wonder if it is. Well, I suppose it's all round, isn't it? They're trying to shut that sort of digital versus physical thing. So even the physicals are going, well, at least we could knock a tenner off, whereas I ain't seen any of these yet. The new games being knocked down yet. So they'll just go, fuck it.
Oh, Shop 2 did. They had it up. Did they? Yeah, £69.85 they had it up for. So you got a 15p discount on that.
There you go.
I actually think this might just purely be early adopter markup, because there's still, if you look on like Games website, who typically online have it at RRP, they don't drop it. Game are like the worst place to buy your video games, ironically. You're best off going to a smaller outlet where they'll knock the price down. But there's a lot of PS5 games on their page that are $54.99 and $59.99. I think what might happen is things might sort of level out at about 60 quid, and then in the stores you'll probably get it for 50 quid physically somewhere or thereabouts. But yeah, it was a bit of a fucking.
So yeah, it's a sour taste.
Is Demon's Souls worth 70 quid? Buggy mess of it. These Souls games.
Buggy ridden could be, yeah. Too much stress for me.
I think I remember last gen things feel like things were expensive, like early on. Like I don't.
Yeah, like you say, it might be a test in the waters type thing.
Yeah. We'll have to see, won't we? But we'll let things settle down before we cut totally going on that. But if you want Demon's Souls, it looks like you're going to be paying at least sort of 65 at this rate. And if you're on digital like I am on that little island, 70 quid for Demon's Souls, fuck my old boots. As you might say.
Can't be trading that at the end of your 40-hour campaign.
No,
longer than that.
I don't know if I'm even going to get that. I don't know. We'll have to see. Last thing, poor communication I've just put here. And what
and on the games.
Yeah.
So they didn't even announce what games were were actually considered on the launch title.
Yeah.
Then they
not in the trailers.
Said a few in full, but then the games company themselves, like the Godfall, everyone was like, I thought that was going to be a launch title, and then like about an hour later on their Twitter, they're like, just to confirm, we are coming out on launch.
Fuck, it is such piss poor garbage. The two that I picked out was Demon's Souls and Miles Morales, because they're in-house first party stuff.
Yeah, well, you got that trailer first, didn't we? It just said coming holiday 2020.
And I was like,
right.
That must be, because it didn't say launch. I mean, knew this was like the launch reveal sort of showcase. I was thinking that must be coming December time, which, for fantasy teams is a worry. And then Demon's Souls didn't have anything. Just went to black after the title. I was like, that ain't coming this year then. And it turns out they're both launch games. Now, obviously at this point in the showcase, they hadn't revealed the dates, but you don't have to put the exact date. Like you said, just put coming at launch. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, nice. Mark that down on our little list we're making as we go through. That's a launch game. But no, we had to fucking hunt around on the arse end of Twitter to suss this one out as well.
Let's go fucking hell.
I think it plays into this being a bit of a rush job.
Yeah.
Because wasn't there confusion around Demon's Souls as well about a PC version lurking?
That's it, because they said exclusive and that, and then now they're going, yeah, and PC.
I took that away now. They say it's not for PC.
Oh, it's just oh, really?
See what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know. Actually, I'm thinking of another game.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
16. But yeah, what a load of...
Yeah.
So bad, wasn't it?
As a whole, it was like I say, it's so shame because there's some good reveals.
Oh, yeah.
It was a perfect little conference, but just ended with that sort of just what the fuck is going on.
Absolutely. It was a bit of a mess, really. And hopefully...
It's weird because this whole year and last year, sort of, PlayStation have taken themselves out of this sort of thing. Like, taken themselves out of E3. They thought, right, we can't bollocks anything up here.
Yeah.
You know, shoot yourself in the foot, you do something wrong. Whereas Xbox kept sort of doing these conferences and everyone was sort of...
That ain't gameplay. That's Xbox
That's
One.
it, yeah.
They got fucking
And then
ridiculed
that
for it.
PlayStation must have been sat there laughing, just going, look at you fucks trying to fucking... And now they've done this on the eve of the fucking console launch and they've ballsed it up.
Fucking madness. Oh, well, it's done now.
Face.
We know the release date, 12th of November, but only for US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. The UK and the rest of the world will get it on November the 19th. It's funny because in the Dimp WhatsApp group where we just sort of post news and sometimes have a little chat, about 2 or 3 days before the showcase, I posted the release dates of the PS4. I think there was like a 2-week lag or something before it come to Europe. I said, imagine if they did this in 2020, the meltdown that Twitter would have. And then lo and behold, that's what we've got. We've got a week lag.
So is it a week later on PS4, was it?
I think it's a couple, it might have been. It was yeah, it was staggered. And I think Japan might not have even got it till the following year, like early 2014. I thought that wouldn't fly in 2020, but this one I will say COVID definitely could play a factor in like logistics and whatnot. Like I'll let them off the hook for that one. It can't be helped. So we're going to have to wait another week, but you know, we'll have to just, I don't know if I'll watch much coverage. Yeah. I don't know if I want to watch much coverage. I might just sort of black hole it and just then go in blind.
Yeah.
But...
Remember when we got the Switch, she was watching so many sort of like unboxing videos.
Yeah.
It sort of like knew what to do before you even had it because it's just like where everything was in the box.
Yeah.
There's like no sort of mystery.
Absolutely. We've then got the price. We've got the digital edition going for $360 or $359.99.
I missed that. I thought it said for $350, and then I was like, cool, people are marking up.
It should have been. But yeah, because it's funny because I think the Xbox One S is $299 and then $249 over here. So that's a £50 difference compared to the dollars, and it's a lower amount. So that's why I always sort of applied the knock of 50 off, and that's what we'll get in UK pounds. But here they've only knocked only 40 off. So I don't know because it's $350. It's 400 in dollars, and $360 over here, and then the PS5 with the disc drive is 450 UK pounds. Any surprises or about where you thought? Did you think they would?
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to go more. To be honest,
so he was expecting a bit more. We did that last week, actually.
Yeah, sort of. Because and again, because we didn't know, they thought they were going to do this generational leap with sticking our guns out.
Yeah,
well, that was the case. This is going to be the premium experience, the best one. All right, maybe it's not got the most powerful stats compared to Xbox One X, Series X, but it's faster. Everyone's any bloody poll you look on Twitter and says what you're getting.
Yeah,
it seems to be like a landslide from the PlayStation boys.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, so that was in my mind. So I listened to so many other sort of predictions and that, and most people were saying, yeah, I can see the $600 they were talking about.
Fucking hell.
Right. So then, when we find out that it is $500, $450 for us, I was like, interesting. Match the Series X, and I mean it makes sense because that's what they did with the PS4, didn't it? As well.
Yeah. Well, they did it a bit cheaper. In fact, I did kind of wonder if they'd go full on and go 400, but they chuffed out that, which is fair enough. Was there a maximum price that you were looking at and thinking, I ain't paying that for this, or was it like I'm kind of committed to this? Like, and now knowing what you know, £70 games, PS4. There's quite a couple of PS4 cross-gen titles rather than being just PS5. Would that have changed things at all?
I mean, with PlayStation, because of their exclusives, I probably would have bought it whatever, but certainly would have been a grudging thing. The only thing is they seem to be starting to push over their first-party games over to PC. So if you're going into the realms of sort of 700, 800 maybe, then you start thinking, well, I'll just go full Master Race here and go on a big dog. Might as well.
Yeah, you have to wait for the lag. If you can, as long as you can see out the time between release and the port, I guess that'd be that's one thing. But
I think if it was 600, that's how much I was prepared to pay. But anything north of that, it would have been a bit of a spot. Well,
conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Again, though, it plays into this pre-order thing. Like, if you imagine you're sitting there at 650, 700, like you want to have time to think about it. You didn't have the time. You had to just commit to it, or you're probably not going to get one. So luckily the price wasn't anything that I was over what I was expecting. And digital edition, annoyed that it wasn't 350 but 360. Still think that's a pretty good bit of kit, in all honesty.
It's glad that it's not anything changed. It's just literally taking the disc drive out.
I'll bet you. I'll find out when I boot it up. It's missing things. It's like no 4K resolution. And I'll be like, right, what have you done, Jim? Another fucking little thing, fucking piece of shit you haven't told us about. Was there? I take it there's no consideration for you to go 360 digital.
Because
you don't trade games in.
No, that's
so it's not like you do it to, I was doing physical to purely pump back money into the economy for myself.
Yeah. But... No, it simply is. It's just like I do like having the games, but I sort of do it like a half. I sort of just buy whatever's the cheapest. It's not like there's certain games I would like on disc, but once they come out, if there's like a game that I kind of wanted but not too bothered about getting it on release, then I'll wait until there's a price drop, and it doesn't matter if it's cheaper on digital, I'll get it like that.
Yeah, and launch day is never cheaper digital, so if you want it day one, it's always going to be a physical endeavour. So that's where I'm going to get my pants pulled down, but I'm seeing it as more of an experiment, because I've been talking the big game about going digital, and now...
Yeah, I did say myself, but I certainly have put it, so I am... Yes, I'm just going to stick with this physical and see how we go.
Yeah, I think that's the sensible thing to do. It looks fucking ugly as shit, but then the big one don't look look good anyway. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a big beast. We'll try and get our hands on that. Right. Well, that's all the sort of stuff that's related to the showcase. That's not game related, really. So let's talk about some of the things we saw, because I'm tired of that stuff. I'm tired of that negativity, energy. Get it out. Now, I'm not sure if... Well, we'll just go through it and we'll see how far we get. Because some of this stuff doesn't really need recalling and bringing up, but there's some interesting bits and pieces that popped in and out of the showcase itself, and a lovely big mic drop from Sony at the very end as well. But we kicked things off. Now, this would have been a great surprise had it not been heavily rumoured and leaked in the lead up, but Final Fantasy 16 confirmed. It's going to be right, so let me get this right. It's going to be a timed exclusive from PC as well, but also a timed exclusive on Xbox. So I think it's either a year and 2 years, or 6 months and a year. It changes every time I load Twitter up, so I'm not going to let someone else tell me what that is. But Final Fantasy 16 kicks it off. I have left out the original opening, which was what game was it that was running on PC, rendering it?
Oh god, yeah. I
can't remember what it was.
No, it was this, wasn't it?
Oh, it was this, yeah.
Yeah, it was it. Yeah.
So they've done that thing again where they said this is running on a PC, mimicking a PS5.
Yeah.
Was it? Hell.
I think it was. What was the last conference they did?
GTA 4 they did it. GTA 5, sorry. Yeah, they did exactly the same thing. That.
There was a game in that conference. It was called like Project Alafia or something. It looked like Final Fantasy.
Right.
Oh shit! Is that a completely separate game, or because that's what I thought this was going to do? Because when it first come up, I thought, oh no, it's that game again.
No, I think it's separate.
And then
I think it's a separate entity.
Oh right, it's two set. Because it half looked like exactly the same, and I thought they were just going to go Project Athia and then flip it round and it will say Final Fantasy or whatever. Do like a secret reveal like they did with Metal Gear Solid 5 a bit.
Wrong. But
no, two separate games.
You've chuffed through 15. Stuck on 7 somewhere in that world. What's your hype levels for Final Fantasy 16 based on what you saw and the setting and bits like that? It looked quite different. I've not played 15 yet, but
it did, yeah. It looks exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not overly. It didn't get me real hype because it doesn't look. It looked like a bit of a different type. The only thing that did look quite cool is there was a lot like blood in it, which you don't tend to get.
Did someone get decapitated? Got their head cut off?
Yeah, and a little kid got covered in blood. Yeah. Like, but a lot of people were sort of been talking to people, sort of saying, "Oh yeah," and then people always refer back to like Final Fantasy 9. Apparently, had this same sort of medieval setting, and I was like, "Right, well, I never played that, so I don't be knowing what that's like." So yeah, so as far as I've seen, it's certainly a different type of take on it. Still had the sort of the meat and potatoes that they used, the sort of crystal themed and the anime style with the fucking anime haircuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of it more. There's a sort of nice mix of CGI and actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Showed you some of it looked a bit sort of like Dark Soulsy type. Some of the big large bosses and thing. I'm sure the combat's nothing like that, but no, yeah, so definitely one I will keep my eye on. But in terms, probably, at the hype of 15 and 7, it's sort of, I knew it was coming, but because it's sort of coming quite quick now, it's sort of getting to that point now where it's like, oh, every couple of years we're getting a new Final Fantasy now.
Wait, here, it's so many years without one, and then you're going to get 3 in the space of like 4 or 5 years.
That's it, and we've still got, obviously, part 2 coming soon of number 7, so we'll be like, fucking hell.
PS6 launch exclusive, I've heard that.
Yeah,
took them that long to get it done.
Fuck's sake. So yeah, no, it looks interesting. Definitely we'll keep an eye on it, but my hype has been dampened with the sort of a lot of
Final Fantasy.
Lots of Final Fantasy at the minute.
Yeah. We've got a little gameplay demo. Could go on.
What about you?
Yeah, so
15 done.
Yeah, that's it. It's purely I want to get 15 done. Like this is, I think it's a 2021 for this, so got some time. And there's a little thing we're going to talk about later that's going to help me with getting 15 done. So yeah, it's purely that. I'm not kind of thinking too much about 16. I want to do 15, then ideally 7, then 16. And that might be a bit too much, but we'll see how things play out. I'm still up for getting into some Final Fantasy, so I need to make my mind up and start committing to one of those projects sooner rather than later, to be honest, because this felt a bit soon. I was a bit like, 2021. I thought it'd be revealed in 2021 and then like come out in 2022. So I'll have to make sure I get on top of that. We then got a gameplay demo of Miles Morales, the Spider-Man spin-off. Got some gameplay. It looked good. Looked like graphically looked really nice. Showed a bit of what I guess we can expect from the ray tracing and reflections and whatnot. But in terms of the gameplay, very much looked similar to OG Spider-Man, as you would expect. Which is not a bad thing because it was great fucking superhero game, one of the best.
Yeah, it did get me hyped. Some cool new sort of effects. Look like they've amped up the sort of takedowns and finishes and things.
I didn't like the enemies all neon purple, if I'm honest.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of people have sort of said that's the downside to it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to sort of see. There was rumours they were going to go sort of quite controversial with maybe what the storyline was going to be, but don't think it was, maybe leaning into the sort of BLM
type
type thing, but it looks like they've gone, or maybe that's not a good idea.
No.
Just play it with normal
It's one of those
villains.
things that you don't want to get it wrong on it for either reason, because if you do it wrong, you're going to piss off people on both sides. I mean, I don't know why you'd be on one side or the other, but it's probably not worth trying to shoehorn it in if it's not fitting naturally with it. I think, I mean, Miles Morales is a man of colour anyway, which is a good thing to have him kind of headlining one of these launch titles, and it's going to be interesting to see how this DLC plays out, and then also I'm assuming we'll get a fully fledged sequel at some point where both Peter and Miles will be in it. And maybe we'll be switching between them. But this is very much going to be focused on Miles from what I can see. And looking forward to jumping back into that world, because it's one of those games I think you can jump back on months or years afterwards, and the controls will just feel so intuitive. You'll be back, steaming through New York like it never left.
What's your take on their... they've done a remastered version of the original game.
Right,
You've got to be paying premium price to play it.
More garbage that they've... Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
See, a lot of these games, like Bioshock and that did it, and the Batman games, if you own them, you got them for free.
Yeah.
So they should do something like that for Spider-Man. But
and Witcher's doing it. CD Projekt Red are doing it with The Witcher. Yeah. They're gonna, they should do. You're right. I've platinumed the original one, so it's like, do I really need to play that again some up-resed sort of bits and pieces? Like, probably not, in all honesty.
No.
And having played through that and all the DLC, I've got nothing left outstanding I want to do on that.
Yeah,
I'll probably go for the smaller version. If I wanted to play Spider-Man, I'm assuming it'll work via back compat anyway. Just won't have the new bells and whistles. So that's how I see it anyway. What about you?
It did tinker me off a bit, but it's because they started listing what was new, and I just thought, it's just going to be 60 FPS is what they were saying, because they said that this Miles Morales would be 4K 60. But then they started listing off saying, no, new ray tracing, new models, the characters' models will be enhanced now, so it looks slightly different.
How much enhancement?
Well, this is the question. But that fucked me. I was like, well, now I want to play it because it's completely different.
Yeah.
So
it's not ideal. They know what
I ain't
they're doing.
paying another fucking... I think that was about 70 quid for the... Or was it a bit more? I think it was 80 quid for the Miles Morales
Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Edition, that was it. So, right, we'll get fucked, actually. I ain't platinum. But then they're like, well, you can platinum it. It's a separate platinum.
You don't want to go through that again, do you?
Well, it was probably one of the easiest platinums I've ever done, to be honest. It's just time-consuming going through all the little fucking thugs. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, again, might be one that'll give it a month and it'll come down in sales and pick it up on the cheap. But
the trouble is, then you've got to forego Miles Morales, because as far as I know...
Yeah, that's true.
As far as I know, I don't know, this is a fact, because, again, we ain't been fucking told nothing, that'll always be packaged into the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. Therefore, unless they offer some sort of, you've got Miles Morales here, you can pay an extra 20 quid for Ultimate upgrade, then you may have to buy the whole game again, or just spin it off and say you have to wait until it comes down. It's fucked.
More misinformation, because none of this was on the fucking... Right. Normally they put the end of the trailer, buy the Steelbook or whatever and get the Ultimate Edition. No, just come in holiday.
See you later. Next.
Ta-da.
Straight into Hogwarts Legacy 2021. This had been leaked a fair old while ago, and I hadn't seen much of it. I'm going to be honest, I ain't much of a Harry Potter fan. I will entertain this, because not being a Harry Potter fan... It just means that I dislike them, I just haven't seen or read the book. So I may be a fan in waiting. But a video game, I'll try anything, any IP that I've not previously got on with, because it's my preferred medium. So I'm up for giving this a go. And didn't really get an idea of what the game was, but I guess you're going to be a wizard and whatnot. And RPGs.
They never explained anything, but it's all like you say. The leak was that it was going to be this RPG, and it certainly looked like it. It looks like it's obviously set in that realm. Don't think it's a story about Harry Potter and that. It looks like it's going to be a separate sort of. You make your own character and take him through that world, through the school and whatnot. But yeah, quite interesting. I've got sort of Skyrim-y vibes from it. Big open world type things. certainly one to keep an eye on it. From the people, so I was talking to our mate the other day about it, he's telling me who's making it. It's from the people that made, I think Far Cry, is it, or Just Cause?
Rage? Is it Avalanche?
Is it Raid? Avalanche, yeah.
I get confused. I think there's 2 Avalanches, and
there's 2.
Yeah, it's like Avalanche and Avalanche Studios. I don't think they're the same people. I got all snarled up in it. I'll see if I can.
He said, so Hogwarts isn't the Mad Max guys, but the Disney Infinity team, both called Avalanche. Confusing.
Oh, okay, right, there we go.
So that's
more confusion added to the pit that we don't need.
Yeah, who's making this game?
Not ideal. What about if I said next gen Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? I'm going to show you a gameplay demo, and you're going to like it. Would you agree or disagree?
Fucking disagree. They've bored the shit out of this.
I was like, right, checked out this one. It showed an instance where they were trying to assassinate this bloke, and you were like looking through the binoculars, and then he gets out the gun to shoot, and like the guy I'm assuming controlling the character just slapdash kind of no scopes him and misses and gets the guy in front of him, and it sets off a massive war. I was like, well, hang on, if I was doing that, I'd make sure I got the guy in the head. But maybe it's one of those things where it forces that on you. But yeah, I'm not really interested in talking about Black Ops Cold War. People have been playing it this last weekend on the alpha that was announced that PlayStation owners could play that. I haven't downloaded it. I doubt I'll download it. I may play through the campaign later, like if it's cheap and it gets good reviews, but really Call of Duty is not really my jam anymore, even if it's like a Warzone spin-off that's free. We get to see a little bit more of Resident Evil 8. Looked a little bit better. But
yeah,
like I'm talking performance-wise, because it looked like it was suffering that first.
Cool, that's right. Yeah, that last trailer didn't it? There was quite a few bits. So yeah, it looked like they up-res it. It still didn't give you too much information.
No.
I thought it might have had a little bit more gameplay in it this time, but
Wolves confirmed. A lot more sort of setup, wasn't it? And
yeah.
Chris Redfield's either gone rogue or is doing something that seems like he's going rogue, but he's doing it for the good of the people. So I quite like this timeline that we're on with 7 and 8, with Ethan coming back as well. It gives it a little bit of tissue between the two, because so often you jump around in Resident Evil games from one character to the other and it's sort of like detached, whereas there's 2 people in this one that if you've played through 7 you can you kind of know what they're about, which interests me the most. But looking forward to seeing a bit more of that in 2021. Deathloop, I feel like I've seen this trailer 15 times before. Like, I still don't get what's going on. I still don't quite understand how you eliminate these targets, but I liked what they showed a little bit in this one, in that in order to get 2 of them in the same place, you had to do a prerequisite task. So I'm assuming there's going to be opportunities like that scattered around the entire map, but I still don't get how it plays. What the aim? I know what the aim is, but how that's going to work out. And again, we have a mysterious assassin that's trying to hunt you down as well, which I think can be AI or human. So we'll see about that. I don't think there's much more to know about.
It's quite a cool style, but yeah, it's one of those that's sort of not really that exciting for me.
Here's one for you: Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition ray tracing.
Another fucking thing, right? Capcom. Street Fighter 5 comes out. We're never gonna do these special editions anymore. This is going to be almost like a games as a service. We'll do the character passes. That's what we do with games now. We'll never bring another one. Was it this year or last year? 2020. Right, we're doing an arcade edition. Yep. Now we're doing an ultimate edition. Yep. Fuck's sake. Right, now we're going to bring out Devil May Cry. What we're going to do is this is going to be Devil May Cry. We're not going to do a special edition like we did before. They fucking bring out a special edition now. For fuck's sake, Cashcom.
I fucking love it, didn't they?
Yeah, so they've gone back on it again, but yeah,
something interesting.
Yeah,
Devil May Cry 5 is on Game's site right now, pre-order. Guess how much?
55?
No, $34.99.
Blimey, so, digital only as well. I think saw on there
being called Cashcom. And then, maybe that's why they... $34.99.
Yeah. Is it? It's quite impressive. But yeah, it looks quite good. Like DLC wise, it's the Virgil DLC.
Right.
There's something similar they did before, so something they've done before. But yeah, they made a point and came out and said, no, we won't be doing that with DMC5. We're just going to let it breathe, as it was a critically acclaimed game. No, we're going to not milk that cash cow.
Yeah.
Out with a special edition.
What if they say if you've got the original, we'll upgrade you for free?
Well, that's the thing. That's what they should be doing, but no.
They definitely won't. Oddworld, Soulstorm.
Not for me, thanks.
Next. Five Nights at Freddy. Next.
Next.
What's that doing? Oddworld, I get. They've been showing that quite a lot. What the fuck is Five Nights at Freddy doing there? Yeah. I've not got it on the rundown, but before I forget, what the fuck is Fortnite doing in here as well? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Ray tracing.
Luckily, we got to see a little gameplay demo of Demon Souls. Looks fucking nice. Bluepoint have done a really good job at bringing that to life out of its fucking PS3 days. You go back and compare those two. This, as we mentioned, is launch game. 70 UK pounds. This is what a lot of people will be looking at, perhaps as the main sort of first party game to carry PS5 into the next generation. What say you? We know you didn't get on well with Bloodborne, but you got on well with Sekiro. Does Demon Souls stand a chance, or is it going to be pegged back by previous experiences and a hefty price tag that's weighing it down? Well,
that's the thing. The price tag is the thing that's weighing me down. Like, obviously the game being itself, it's one I don't like. I liked Sekiro because you didn't have a stamina bar. These games like Bloodborne and that have a stamina bar really annoyed me.
Yes.
That's why. Well, it annoyed me because I'm shit at it. So, it was a big boy experience. But then when I bought the Xbox One X, I remember I bought Forza 7 because that was like one of the games that was like a 4K 60, and I was like, oh well, get it to almost like a tech demo to experience the true fidelity of it. So whereas this is now, I'm like, well, Demon Souls is like the real full fidelity game that's going to be available at launch.
Astrobot.
Well, yeah, there's Astrobot. Or Sackboy's Adventure.
Yeah, all that. Or Destruction All-Stars for 70 UK pounds as well.
Oh, I forgot about that. Didn't even show us any of them ones, did they?
Nah, I didn't bother.
So, yeah.
I'm in two minds about it. I mean, I've done Bloodborne. I really like Bloodborne. But they are taxing these From Software games. I know this is done by Bluepoint, but they're going to have the punishing difficulty in there. And in all honesty, like, out of all of them, this was the roughest of the lot back in the day. And I know it's a remake and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm not sold just yet.
No, I think with me, there's so going to be so many games at launch. If they're doing all these upgrades as well, potentially on release day, if I was to buy everything I wanted, I'd probably have FIFA 21, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs and Legions, Spider-Man Morales, and Cyberpunk. So that's 5 games on launch.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could buy, what's his name as well? Demon Souls. So it's not getting a look in, really.
No.
But that probably out of all of them is the only one that's the true high fidelity bad boy. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm undecided. I mean, I know there's like Adcock. He will get this day one because he loves the Souls games. Like, it's a dream come true for people that are into From Software games and who probably missed Demon Souls because Dark Souls was like the breakout hit and was available multi-platform. Blah 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 blah. But
Demon Souls PS3 exclusive.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah. It's like Bloodborne basically, but. For that. So I don't know. I feel like I might try and commit to this. But like you said, there's going to be a lot of third-party stuff out by that time. And depending on how we decide to play our cards in terms of buying games from last gen or just waiting until the next gen is out, there could be lots and lots to be going after. But I think this is a bit of a niche game as well. Like, it's not going to capture the mainstream, I wouldn't have thought, because of its punishing difficulty and whatnot. But then a lot of people that are buying these consoles day one are probably going to be hardcore gamers as well. So perhaps it is the right audience to chuck it out on. But it looks nice, it looks beautiful, and it's a tempter. There's just that price point is a sour one.
It's almost as if like the market of like the PC Master Race, I think, doesn't give them an excuse to buy this console. Where they're like, well, I don't need it. You know, next gen I've got me fucking 3080 ray tracing bad boy.
Yeah.
But they go, well, you like those Souls games, all you PC boys, thinking you're hard, come and buy a PS5 and play it.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this might come to PC still, and that rumour was true, just that it won't be their day and date. I can't see how that was just the misinformation. Like, it feels like that was not supposed to be said, and it was, and then it was like, So I can see it appearing, and then Salmon at that stage might be costed because he may have already bought a PS5 for it, in which case he won't be happy. PS Plus collection. So what this is, if you've got PlayStation Plus, when you get your PS5, you'll have access instantly to the following games: Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous Second Son, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Uncharted 4 A Thief's End, and Until Dawn. So, nice little selection of first-party and third-party games in there. Now, for me and you, I would hasten to guess that we've played most of these.
I was going to say, I went through them the other day. I think there's 2 I haven't played.
Yeah, I think the only one is Final Fantasy 15 for me. To finish Monster Hunter World, because we've started it and ain't done it. Persona 5.
Persona 5 is the big one for me. I thought that's one I do really want to get, to be fair.
And Mortal Kombat X
for that
me.
Switch.
So not many.
Yeah, it's weird that they've put Mortal Kombat X.
What's that Battlefield 1? What's that doing on there?
Yeah, it's like fucking
Batman Arkham Knight. Well, it's some weird shit on there. Maybe they're just cheap third parties that they could nail down to this. But I mean, for us, go on.
I thought they were going for like all the best like exclusives, but Spider-Man's not on there. God of War's on there, isn't it?
God of War is on there, confirmed. No Last of Us Part 2 though.
No.
No Horizon, which is interesting because. But for us, like we said, there's a handful games that we might want to play through again. But for someone who is either stranded on Xbox Island last gen and was looking at moving over, this is a great get for them because you get a smattering of good exclusives and third parties there. And God of War, one of the games of the generation, without doubt. And also, if you've just missed a generation, I was talking to T Monk the other day about these consoles, and I was like, what are you thinking of getting? And he was like, PS5. What do you think? And I was like, well, to be honest, they're a bit of a muchness at this rate. One of the good things of this and that, blah 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 blah, and then I mentioned, like, what have you been playing this gen? And he said, I haven't. I've basically missed the generation. And I said, well, in that case, the PS5 is probably the best because you like their exclusives, and this collection will get you up and running with a nice set of games, some really good ones, and you'll be laughing because you've not played any of them. So it's good for newcomers. Hardcores like us, probably not much value. I would like to see them add to it over time. I don't know if they will. Apparently they won't.
Well, this is what we thought. Like, it's again more misinformation. So we was just like, right, this is going to be their version of. This is the start of Game Pass for them. They called it PS Plus collection because that's a brand that people know. The PS Plus, you get these games. But then they come out 2 days later and go, no, we're never going to have our first-party games on here. Release day is just not beneficial for us. Yeah. We make too much money for them for you to have them day one.
I imagine what might happen is that there may be games added, like older games and like stuff that you might have missed. So it could yield its benefit. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these games have been on PlayStation Games with whatever it's called. Throughout the PS4 life cycle. So anyone that's been a subscriber to this for like the past 5 years probably has access to a lot of these games. And if you're into your Sony exclusives, you would have played most of these anyway. But like I said, it's probably not aimed at us. It's aimed for people that are coming over or that have missed it, or it's their first console even. I mean, what a great fucking library to sit there and play through. And you know, I know Game Pass has got 100 plus games, but it's also got 90 plus games that aren't that good. Whereas this, at least 4 or 5 of them are proper good games that you shouldn't miss.
Yeah, incredible.
So
Yeah.
Eyes open for that one. Well, it all ends basically. We get the prices. Jim Ryan talks a load of bollocks that Barry's fucking lied to us. All this garbage goes to black, and we still haven't got the pre-order date. And then it comes back, and I think, oh, here's the pre-order date. And then I hear this music, dun, dun, dun. I think, oh god, it's not, is it? Kratos returns in God of War Ragnarok.
Cool.
We only get an announcement, so we get the title. And Ragnarok's coming like a tease. But the big shock, and we know that Sony have lied. We've established that during this podcast. And here comes another lie. 2021, my arse.
No fucking chance. Yeah,
Imagine if it did, though.
Yeah, it would be incredible. I mean, he's got the second he finished that game, he must have gone, that was a fucking masterpiece. Right, on to number 2. Here we go. So... yeah, but not a chance. Not a chance that's coming out next year. But I don't know why they put it. Like, it's been when was it, last year? Was it 2018 or 2019?
2018.
2018, so it's been 2 years. So, no, it don't need to be next year. If they'd have said coming 2022, I'd have been fine with that. But
It's 2022, I'll be like, why are you telling us? I'll be like,
yeah, that's it. That's true, yeah. But no, they put 2021. Everyone gone, cool. But we all know, I think everyone, no chance.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, if they prove me wrong and we're sitting there either this time next year and it's coming out for Christmas like November or earlier, I will tip my cap to Corey. I'll go and hunt him down personally and perhaps give him a free month of our Patreon membership just to get him going. As a
gift. The big boys have this. They know that that's not going to be a release date. They do this,
it makes me wonder sometimes because, like I said, if in fact like the most likely release date is 2022, there would be no point in showing that at this stage, really. So I do wonder if they put the 2021 on there, so it doesn't have people going, "Fucking hell, that's 2 years away." That they tease it in the fact that it might come next year, knowing full well that in all likelihood it ain't.
That's it, yeah. And I think it does, like, it definitely does sell. Having this long hype, you know, by the time you get to the game, like Last of Us, they had that first trailer where it was like a screenshot of a car.
That's it.
And then by the end, you're like, fucking hell, I've been waiting for this. And it does build that hype. So I can see why they do it, but yeah, just think, we know that isn't coming out.
And you know what?
You've got to think to yourself, they've got to be they know this is happening.
Every single either state of play, showcase, or whatever they decide to do in the future, we're all going to be waiting for this to rock up. And it obviously won't appear at all of them. It probably won't even appear at the first 2 or 3. And we'll be deflated because we haven't seen God of War Ragnarok. But when that moment happens, whatever showcase that is, that's going to make that showcase like one of the best ones of the year. But now the cat's out the bag, we're going to be sitting there waiting for it, so it's going to cost all the others.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Oh dear. Well, anything else? I think that was pretty much everything from the showcase. There may have been a few bits we got wrong, and obviously the misinformation doesn't help because we're still finding out things. It seems like days later, Sunday.
That's the thing. It's the stuff that didn't come out. Like no mention of Godfall coming out on day one.
I've got a feeling we're going to be sitting there fucking playing that together, and that's going to be our PS5 experience.
Yeah, that's true.
After I slagged it off, I'll be like, wow.
Fucking hell. Looter slashers all the way. I just can't believe they haven't made like a big thing of Cyberpunk being like a launch title. You know, that could possibly be the biggest game of the year, biggest game of a generation, and
do you know what
it's coming out on the same day as the PS5. How have they not linked that and gone, look, we need a deal together?
I know what it is. I reckon Xbox have already got it locked down.
Do you think?
I reckon so.
This is my conundrum now. Now I'm like, well, if I'm getting both now, what do I get it on?
Yes.
I pre-ordered it on both.
Where from?
I've got base for Xbox because I got it for about £40 with them. Yep. And then it's £45 from Smiths on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4. That's the thing. There is no next gen version of it. You can't buy it on PS5 yet. But they have told us that there is a free upgrade.
Not till next year.
So Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a fucking blower because all the ray tracing, all the good stuff won't be on it come launch, and that's not obviously put me off buying the consoles, but that game I'm like, can I just wait like I don't know how long the patch is going to be. That's the other thing.
Well,
if they said it's January the 5th, definitely I'll go, okay, I'll wait. But without that, I kind of think I'm going to have to just commit to this and then be annoyed when the patch drops and I've finished with it already.
Yeah. So this looks like a PC game through and through.
Oh yeah.
But it would annoy. Like I could probably run it on my rig, but I'll just be playing it at 1080p. Probably won't even be able to play it on the iOS settings. It'd have to be like medium. So that would bug the shit. But today I was looking at the recommended things. I'm like sitting there weighing up now. Shall I go with an Xbox or should I just upgrade my PC now and start again? I don't know. So I've still got that conundrum, but yeah, I want to get it on thing. But like I say, it just baffles me why this isn't a big highlight for the both of them.
Yeah.
Just go, fuck, get this attached to our launch titles.
Yeah.
Day one.
Some of the stuff they promoted with the launch hasn't been overly, thrilling. But there's going to be a lot of games to play, like outside of that. Like I said, we're going to have Watch Dogs, we're going to have Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. We're even going to get a Just Dance 2021. So how can you complain about that? And later on we'll have Immortals, Phoenix Rising. It's all coming to it. So there will be games to play. They will look and run better than their current gen predecessors. Some of them just won't, I guess, have all the bells and whistles and the ray tracing like we had with the Xbox Series X and PlayStation Pro. Without that patch, it weren't really much different. So we're kind of in the hands of the developers to put the effort in and cross-gen these and upgrade them. But it'll probably come with time. How are you feeling about your pre-order with PS5? Is it the excitement and the anticipation that you had, or is there been some dampening?
I'm still scared because of all this bollocks that's gone on. I mean, Amazon instantly have now sent out messages to all their pre-orders saying we can't 100% confirm that you'll get yours on release date.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a concern. We haven't had that from Game. So yeah, there is still that concern, but I've got to say, after that conference and then pre-ordering, I did have that real excitement of like, I just love having new tech, so like a big new generation thing. I just can't wait. That's why I'm like, I want that. This is why I've put it to go to the store, so I'm going to book that day off work.
Yep.
November the 19th. We're going to go down to the store all together, holding hands, skipping.
Can't hold hands.
Street. No, yeah, that's true.
And it might only be groups of two by that point, so one of us will have to... Biff. He ain't on the podcast.
Bin. We'll skip up the high street, get out of the consoles, and we'll be robbed at knife point the second we get out of the shop. And some two lucky chaps will have brand new PS5s for nothing.
They'll be fuming when they open my one. It's a digital one. They'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake, this ain't worth nothing. I haven't even got the internet.
Oh yeah, go fucking get it, you bastards. Give it back. So yeah, so that whole thing of like the same with, I think for a long time that the Switch was the console I bought on day one for a long time.
Yeah.
So I have got that excitement, and it is exciting, but yeah, it certainly has got like this brown mark on it after the shitstorm that's happened. It's stained, yeah.
It will all be forgotten about, but it certainly has put me in the mindset of like, I can't be trusting what they say sometimes.
Yeah.
And was ragging on Xbox for saying you're not being ambitious enough, you're not selling this to us, and then in the end, Sony have done almost the same thing. Yeah. Other than like a couple of exclusives that are PS5 only, most of it's going to PS4 as well. So it's much of a muchness at the end of the day. Like, it's going to come down to what games you prefer, or if you prefer a Game Pass model where you can get access to all those games. I'm going to try and get a Series X as well, I think. So tomorrow, this airs obviously Monday, so tomorrow I'll try and secure that.
It's at 8 a.m. is it?
8 a.m. Yeah, and get a few tabs open and find one. I don't think I'll do a store jobby for that, because I'm kind of like with pending restrictions and lockdown because of COVID here in the UK, I feel like if I hedge my bets, have one in the store, so the PlayStation in the store that I go and collect. If I can get the Xbox, I'll have it delivered by someone, and then that way that should come because the post operation was still running last time it kicked off. But yeah, so that's it. Looks like I'm gonna try and end up with both, and the experiment for me will be PS5 digital. How do I get on with that versus Xbox Series X that has the capability to insert discs? I'm going to start tracking everything I play, what I buy it on, how much I spend, and then do some infrequent updates to see the scores on the doors and see what really matters to me. Is it having that? Is it me waiting around for Adkins to buy it so I can borrow it? Is it is it just splurging the money day one to have the convenience? We will find out. But that's providing I get a Series X, because they will
this
sell
is the
out.
thing,
eventually.
now after this, fucking the PS5s have all run out after a couple of hours. But that's only because no one even knew it was on. So now that everyone knows that it's fucking done, are we going to be able to get in? All the fucking websites crash.
I bet you some of them go at midnight.
Yeah, I do.
Bet you some of them go at midnight. And Xbox and Microsoft have come out and said we're going to punish retailers for doing it. I was like, you ain't going to punish them. You ain't going to do shit. They're selling your product, mate. You ain't going to do shit if they do it on midnight. And interesting, but yeah, that's it. I think I don't expect it to be another showcase from either of them.
No,
hardware-wise, we might get a software one that we can have a look through, but we're finally through most of all the newsworthy bullshit, and we'll be back to focusing on some games, I think, for the foreseeable future.
I reckon we might get like a little UI tour.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see.
People were sort of predicting that might be in this show, but it seems like the sort of thing they've done the conference there, and then they could just chuck that out on their YouTube, maybe.
Yeah.
UI update, something like that. But yeah, I can't see us getting any conferences from either of the boys.
Yeah.
Just a sort of launch trailer, maybe.
We'll see. Well, I'm going to call it off. PS5 in the books, Xbox Series X and Series S in the books. Battle shall commence. And
here.
We will see how everything pans out. We'll be back probably talking about just some games that we've been playing in the next episode. So back to sort of normal service, but these were some of the bigger stories in the last sort of few weeks and through the summer. Next gen is arriving. Providing we don't get any lockdowns, we'll be there for the PS5 and potentially there for the Xbox as well. So stay tuned for coverage on both of those platforms of any luck come November. But nothing more for me or Mr. Adkins to say apart from thanks for your time and ta-da.
This was a Dimp Digital production.